Hello everyone, Russ of Aquarium Pets here, and I'm just about to wake up the red-sided garters and the plains garters from Brumation. They've been down since early December and it's now mid-February. That was the time that I had them down last year. You'll notice there's a lot of condensation, well not a lot, but some condensation on the lid, which is a good thing in the method that I am using with some slightly damp leaf litter. It's not saturated. The leaves are fairly dry here, but some of the condensation falls on the top of the leaves and that helps keep them from getting too dry. Let's see here. This appears to be Edwin. He's tongue flicking in slow motion. Edwin is the plains garter male. Gotta say, that's kind of cute. Look at that slow motion tongue flick. Right here is the plains garter female. This is Prairie Dawn. Quite a bit larger than the male, as you would expect. The dimorphism in garter snakes is such that an adult female is generally much larger than males, of course. Who we got here? Well, this is Houdini, now red-sided garter. He has a little less red on him than the other two, I think, most of the time, and definitely less than Rufus. Setting them off to the side here before we put them in their enclosure. Here is Rufus. You can see he's got quite a bit more red on him. And then, last but not least, the largest by far of all my garters so far, Ruby, the female. She is just shy of 40 inches long, a decent sized female. Now, just wanted to mention she's going to get pregnant, hopefully, become gravid and produce a litter of baby garters this spring. It'll be her fourth. Yeah, it'll be her fourth because she had a very small clutch, fall clutch. So it'll be her fourth litter or clutter of babies. And I wanted to let you know that if you are interested in a baby, go ahead and contact me so I can get you on the wait list. The wait list has already begun. There are a few babies on it already. So if you are interested in getting your own red-sided garter or pair or trio or whatever, then please contact me. So let's move them into their enclosure. All right, here goes Edwin, the plains garter. Put him in first there in the basking spot. Hopefully we can get that to focus. There we go. And now this enclosure is going to be where the males go for the moment. After they've had a little while to settle in, a day or so, I'm going to put the red-sided female with one or more of the males. But for today, I'm just going to put all the males together in here and all the females together in the other enclosure. There we go. Rufus seems to be the most active of them all just now. It seems to mess up the focus every time I do that. Yeah, now we're getting a little activity. And just so you know, there's not, the basking light's not on yet. I'll just have that ready for them tomorrow, the basking light. Let them adjust a little bit more gradually to the temperature difference in here. So they're just basically at room temperature right now, about 70 degrees or so that they're not getting shocked. I know that garter snakes can usually handle going from brumation directly into a warm enclosure with a basking light, but I've decided not to do that this time. I've done it before. You can see they only living plant in here is this snake plant. They've got various hides, places to hang out, branches to climb on, that kind of thing. Going to lock this up for security purposes. Wouldn't want anyone going on any unauthorized forays. So yeah, now that is nice and locked. We're good. I don't know if I've ever shown this enclosure. This one, another enclosure by Instinct Habitats. Let's see if we can see. There's some isopods. Yep. You probably can't see nearly as many as there are in there, but these are mostly orange crumble isopods in here. And there's a nice philodendron in the back there. I like the way this enclosure turned out. It's considerably larger than the other enclosure for the males. This is going to be where the females are hanging out initially. While I'm doing this, I just want to give a shout out to my patrons at Patreon. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to find out more about how to become a patron. And you'll also see at the end of this video, I'm going to mention all my patrons, at least the ones who want to be identified, by name. Let's just take a look at Prairie Dawn here. This little mark, she came with that. I'm not sure why there's a discontinuity in her dorsal stripe, but I just think it adds to her charm. She's a fun little snake. I love how the plains garters have such fun little markings on their face. On their supralabial scales, they have those dark markings. A little hard to see that. She's warming up definitely a lot more active than she was just a minute ago. The room temperature is definitely affecting her in that way, stimulating her to a little bit of activity. And here's Ruby. How you doing, Ruby? Oh, she's very stiff. Oh, and there goes the light. See if I can pop that back on for a minute. There we go. I was trying to beat the odds with the timer there, but I didn't quite make it. Get her, put her in there. Like she's crawling off to find a nice spot to hang out. Made sure that their water dishes are freshly cleaned and filled so that they can hydrate a bit. That's often a good idea right after brumation. The dampness of the leaves in there, the high humidity, helps prevent some water loss, but they can end up a bit thirsty after brumation, and that's understandable. But the method that I use, I learned from Steve Bull's Garter Snakes, and seems to work fantastically well for them. I've never had a problem with brumation yet using that method, and this is my third year, so I'm still kind of new at it, but I think 3 brumations is pretty successful. All right, now before we go, I want to show you the melanistic garters, because why not? They didn't brumate this year, they're too young, but why don't we take a look? When I said that they were too young, I spoke a little hastily. What I should have said is I chose not to brumate them because they were rather young. You can totally brumate young garters, and they would have done fine, I'm sure. Sometimes, in fact, brumation can help improve a garter's appetite. If they're young and they're not eating and so on, people will put them into brumation, and that will help improve their appetites. These haven't had any serious problems for a while. When I first got them, some of them were reluctant to eat, but they've done much better since. And so occasionally one will decide not to take a meal, but then usually eat the next time. They're doing great, 2 females and 2 males. I hope to be breeding these in the spring of 2024. And I already have a waiting list for these. And speaking of waiting lists, one more time, if you want to get on the waiting list for the red-sided, I probably will not be breeding the plains garters this year, but I will be at least attempting to breed the red-sided garters. That's Thamnophis, sirtalis, parietalis. I've had success the last 2 seasons. She produced 21 healthy babies the first time and 28 healthy babies the next time. So please contact me if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in getting on the list for these melanistics in 2024. And thanks for watching today. I post videos every Friday with live streams on Wednesdays, all on aquarium and vivarium pets, including these lovely garter snakes and lots of arthropod content. Please feel free to share, rate, comment, and if you haven't already,
subscribe.
And then tap the bell for all notifications so you don't miss my next video.